A lot of unanswered questions have spun out of The Force Awakens. Like, what's Luke been up to? Where did Rey come from? I actually did a video on that already. And how did Harrison Ford survive the press tour without falling asleep or revealing that he's sick of talking about Star Wars?
Did you shoot Greedo first, or did Greedo shoot you first?
I don't care.
Haha, what a good sport. One of the biggest mysteries, though, is in relation to Supreme Leader Snoke. Specifically, who the hell is this guy? He's clearly old, he clearly looks like melted cheese on toast that's been dropped face side down, and he clearly shares Palpatine's love for making himself look like a really big guy. Unless he's even bigger than that, and the Resistance has to fight him like he's bloody King Kong, swatting at biplanes. There is, however, a lot of evidence to suggest that he's someone already referenced in the Star Wars universe who went by the name of Darth Plagueis. Him being a former master of the Emperor, who the Emperor thought he killed in his sleep. Now, there is some evidence to back this up. For one, Snoke bears the scars of someone who's been attacked at close quarters and survived. And Plagueis did apparently figure out how to cheat death. So it's entirely possible that Palpatine force lightninged him in the face, leaving him all melty and for dead. Obi-Wan did the same thing to Anakin, thinking he was done. But he wasn't done. He had so much more standing about to do. He's also adamant that Luke Skywalker doesn't return. He's well aware that the Skywalkers are dangerous, and he knows that what he perceives as their weakness, attachment, can also act as a strength for the light side. Hence his insistence on Kylo Ren killing Han Solo. What's more, it's mentioned that he's old enough to have seen both the rise and fall of the Galactic Empire, making him one of the few beings alive to have done so. Not only that, he has intimate knowledge of those events, highlighted by the Force Awakens novelization. And seeing as he was around at this time, he would have had to have been incredibly powerful to mask himself, more so than Palpatine. Though the Jedi couldn't put their big, dumb, hooded heads together and figure out who was behind everything until he specifically told them, they knew that there was a dark presence manipulating the galaxy, whilst at the same time being completely unaware that Plagueis ever existed, which means this guy is on a whole nother level. But that's not all. The theme that plays during the Snoke sequence is very reminiscent of the score that plays in the Revenge of the Sith opera scene where Plagueis is discussed. The novelization of The Force Awakens also points out that he's had apprentices before, meaning he could very well have been a Sith master, or at the very least, he used to be. He urged Rey to kill Kylo Ren when she had him on the back foot. Again, this is in the book. So he could still be a firm believer in the rule of two, even though it's a dumb rule. What if they're both on a ship and I don't know, that ship flies into the side of a Death Star? But regardless, pretty much every Sith breaks that rule anyways. In addition to that, Kylo Ren mentions that the Supreme Leader is wise, and Plagueis is referred to as Darth Plagueis the Wise, which could also be a subtle hint. It's also said that Plagueis manipulated the midichlorians to create life, accidentally resulting in Anakin Skywalker, which again explains his interest in the Skywalker lineage. Of course, all of this is pure conjecture. I'm not 100% convinced that he's Plagueis at all. It may not even have been decided as of yet whom he'll be. After all, it was thought by Abrams and others that the character might be female at one point, and Plagueis is clearly referred to as a he. Also in the expanded universe, his species is a mun, at George Lucas's request. And he doesn't look much like a mun, but still, the expanded universe is no longer canon, and his species hasn't yet been confirmed. Some others have suggested that he's an old Inquisitor, as seen in Star Wars Rebels, or that he's originally from outside the known galaxy, or he's just a guy that's been around for a really long time and saw the opportunity to seize power and took it. Plus, we don't even know what Snoke really looks like. This is just a hologram and could be a whole Wizard of Oz man behind the curtain thing. Remember that movie? That guy was all, I'm not really a wizard. I can't give you any of the stuff that you want. But here, you wanted a heart? Have a clock.
Oh, it ticks.
Don't be grateful. This dickhead just swindled you. But look, I'm very much unsure about all of this, but I'd love to hear if you've got a theory. Who do you think Snoke is? If you have any thoughts, feel free to leave them in the comments, and maybe even subscribe to check out some other videos. Also have a podcast called The Weekly Planet. It's fine, as podcasts go, it's fine, it's totally fine, I guess. That'll be linked below, along with everything else. Alright, that'll do it. Thanks everyone. Take care.